Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. This is going to be a pretty quick video. I'm going to be talking about some things that I'm starting to see that is concerning coming from the debt collectors who are trying to sue people in court. You probably already know that we write the responses. We have a service where we'll write the response if you're being sued by a third-party debt collector. And we've been having very good success rate, dismissals, with the majority of them. If they don't get dismissed, we have very good settlements that end up being negotiated. Well, something that I'm starting to see, and this is the second time that I've seen it over the last couple of weeks, is that debt collectors are now changing their argument not to specifically argue about the debt, that's included in there, but they're throwing in there to the court saying that that defendants are not competent enough to represent themselves. And now this is the thing. You always have, no matter what level you are, you have the right in the United States of America to represent yourself in court. A lot of times they'll say that you shouldn't do it, but you still have the right to do it. And what I'm starting to see come back is that people are starting, with some debt collectors, and I've seen this only 2 times, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to start doing this if they have arguments come back at them where the judges are not just throwing a default, not a default, but throwing a judgment right their way, where they actually have to bump up against someone who knows that they have to prove all of that information, even when they go to court, even with their affidavits and their fake affidavits. Well, what they're starting to do, and this is one specifically that came through today, is it says specifically, this is the words that they use specifically: defendant challenges the sufficiency of the plaintiff's evidence to prove the claim. Defendant is not competent to represent the court what evidence plaintiff, I can't see what it said on the end, but it starts with a D. It might have been produced or disseminated or something, I don't know. And they're trying to state that in pursuant of New Century Financial Services versus Ogle, and that's AUGLGHLA. I guess this was a court case where I guess an individual was, saying that, hey, debt collector is suing me, I want to make them prove. Regardless of what they say, that what they're trying to do is they're just trying to buy more time. They're trying to push it to another hearing date and to make it to where the person won't show up because they got to go to work or they get sick and tired of it, they quit. If you just go by what your simple rights are, when you have a court summons and you have your response, the way that we do it, and if you're dealing with making it yourself, you have a right to have them give you answers to what your affirmative defense is. All you're doing is saying, they're making allegations on here saying that this was you had this credit card, we bought it, and we know it's 100% accurate. The documents that they produce do not state that. Like this one that I'm looking at here. It just says a charge-off account, and it doesn't even have this individual's specific account number, nothing. And also, it was sold to another party before it was actually sold to them. So that's a problem. Did that company get permission from me to see my personal private information, which is according to, let me just give that to you real quick so you can have this fact, since they're trying to say that you can't do that. According to FDCPA, expressly protects individuals' privacy, 15 USC 1692. So did they provide the information that states in FDCPA 15 USC 1962? I'm sorry, 1692. And then they have their affidavit bill of sale from the original creditor. All it is saying that they bought it or they assigned it, does not have the individual's account number, does not have the individual's name on there. does not state that they guarantee that this is 100% accurate. Does not state that. And then it says here, this is just a statement saying that it was charged off back in 2018. Now, these are some, these here looks like some, it don't even look like statements. It just looks like some number. I mean, I could show this to you. Look at, that's what that looks like. What is that? What I call it is that they're just trying to throw in more paperwork to try to make it look like they did their homework on the case. And then they have the statements here, but we have the statement, but it does not show how each charge to equal up to the amount that they're claiming. They got one, two, two statements. In this statement does not show the most amount of the charges in here. It shows a late payment. It shows a payment of $50 and a interest rate charge of $177. Does not equal the amount that they're claiming on here. So simply, we're just asking that they provide the information that adds up to that amount. That would be like you coming or you going to a business and you did business with them, and all of a sudden, a couple of months later, they came to you and they had a bill for $5,000, and wouldn't it be wise and wouldn't it be correct? Wouldn't it be reasonable to say, well, how do you equal the $5,000? Look at it this way. If there's ever any dispute on any building that people have with anything, wouldn't they, work to get it, to try to figure out, well, show me a breakdown of all the charges. I mean, this is just reasonable stuff. And that's all we're doing in this. But see, what happens is that when you start to ask questions that they don't expect you to ask, they just expect you to run. They just expect you to deny. But when you say, okay, this is what you put on the table, these are my answers to what you put on the table, and then these are my questions to you so we can fill out this whole table. And see, what happens with debt collectors is that they can't get that whole table full. That's the problem. Now, some judges will push it, some judges won't. And that's the way that the court system is. But what we're starting to see, especially when I look at what happened with this individual, is that the judge decided to let it get pushed. Because if they didn't, they would have just said judgment for the plaintiff. But they didn't. So that the debt collector had to come back and state, hey, we don't even think that they're smart enough to even argue this matter here. So you should just hand it over to us. So hopefully the judge will just be like, hey, no, we're not going to do that. This defendant has a right to get answers just like you wanted to get answers. You presented this case. They didn't present it. You brought this case. So let's, that's what courtrooms and courthouses are for, is to go back and forth and to see, have a judgment on who's right and wrong from having all of the information that can be presented in that courtroom. All right, so forgive me for looking up like employees are bothering me coming to ask a question, and I tell them don't bother me when I'm making my videos. All right, if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website, yournumber3scores.com. If you have third-party debt collectors coming after you, even first party, but first party would be more towards going for a settlement, unless you feel that something was actually wrong with the contract or the way that they did business with you. And those links are below this video. If you have debt collectors coming after you, you can stop all of this at the beginning by asking those questions before they even try to sue you. you can grab my free 3-pack of letters: cease and desist collection activities letter, statute of limitations letter, and debt validation letter. Links are below this video. If you have a Gmail account, some of the times the email system is bouncing back from Gmail, but if that happens, just go to my website and go to the live chat, and we'll check that you put your email in, and then we'll send it to you. The reason why we check for the emails is because debt collectors are sneaking in to spy on our company. I mean, that's just what's happening. All right, thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.